Have you ever sat in a room full of people only to feel an overwhelming urge to escape and return to the comfort of your own quiet space? In today's society, someone who prefers to be alone is often viewed as socially awkward or perhaps lacking confidence. But modern psychology reveals a completely different reality, a reality that might seem dark to some but is actually fascinating. Solitude is not always a sign of introversion or fear. In fact, it is frequently the ultimate hallmark of high intelligence. Geniuses, deep thinkers, and highly aware individuals don't run away from people because they can't face them. They do it because they see the world from a completely different angle. In this video, we are going to dive deep into the dark side of intelligence and uncover 5 psychological reasons why highly intelligent people choose silence and isolation. Make sure to watch until the very end because the 4th reason might change the way you look at yourself forever. Part 1. Brain chaos and intellectual noise. Highly intelligent minds never truly shut off. They live in a constant state of analyzing, connecting, and questioning. When a smart person enters a large social gathering, their brain is forced to process an overwhelming amount of data, shifts in tone, hidden body language, underlying motives, and superficial small talk. This continuous analysis drains an immense amount of mental energy. For them, sitting in a crowded cafe or attending a loud party isn't entertainment. It feels like standing in the middle of a chaotic storm of intellectual noise. Therefore, solitude becomes a necessity rather than a desire to disappear. It is a vital recharge for their brain, just like a battery needs quiet to recover its power. In the stillness of their room, they find the peace that allows their structured thoughts to surface. Part 2. The curse of small talk. If you want to torture a highly intelligent person, force them into a long conversation about the weather, the latest fashion trends, or celebrity gossip. Intelligent individuals experience a soul-crushing boredom from superficial conversations. They don't care about what happened. They care about why it happened. They crave depth. They want to talk about the universe, philosophy, future strategies, or the intricate mechanics of human psychology. Since most daily interactions revolve around polite formalities and casual banter, smart people often feel like aliens in a crowd. They would much rather close their door to read a book or build a new skill than waste 2 hours on a conversation that adds zero value to their mind. To them, a meaningful silence is infinitely better than empty words. Part 3. Extreme selectivity in relationships. Average individuals often strive to build massive social networks, heavily focusing on the number of friends around them. Intelligent people, however, operate on a strict rule: quality over quantity. In psychology, the higher a person's intelligence, the more selective they become about who they allow into their inner circle. A smart person understands that human beings are energy. Some drain your energy while others feed it. They have zero tolerance for hypocrisy and cannot stand manufactured social drama. Consequently, you might find a brilliant mind possessing only 1 or 2 close friends, or sometimes none at all for certain periods. This isolation is not driven by coldness. It is a psychological shield protecting them from toxic, superficial relationships that consume time and effort for nothing in return. Part 4. The ultimate value of time and productivity. This brings us to the most practical truth. Highly intelligent individuals are obsessed with progress, execution, and learning. They acutely realize that time is the only currency that can never be recovered once spent. When a smart person looks at their daily schedule, spending hours lounging in coffee shops or hanging out without a purpose feels like a tragic waste of growth. In their isolation, geniuses build empires. They write, they code, they trade, they strategize, and they master new skills. Solitude is their private laboratory where abstract ideas turn into reality. They willingly sacrifice temporary social pleasure for long-term massive success. For them, enjoying time productively and independently triggers far more dopamine and fulfillment than any human gathering ever could. Part 5. Emotional and intellectual self-sufficiency. Most people constantly look outward for validation, praise, and support to feel secure. However, a highly aware individual possesses what psychology calls self-sufficiency. They know exactly who they are, they recognize their strengths and weaknesses, and they don't need the applause of a crowd to prove to themselves that they are successful. This emotional independence makes them entirely indifferent to stepping away from society. They